our gifts, our talents, our personalities, every good thing we have comes from Him. And I think sometimes it's so easy to celebrate these successes and our wins by ourselves. But I think this verse reminds us that every good thing that we have comes from Him. And it's not to think low of yourself, but just to give Him recognition.
Well, welcome back to Season 3, Episode 4. We are so excited to be here today.
And today we're going to kick things off by talking about a very interesting topic, one that hits close to home.
We're talking about living in the life of influencers. And before you think it's a social media lecture, it's not. It's actually much closer to home than that. 1 minute you're looking up a recipe, the next minute you want to travel to Greece, then you're influenced to buy a Stanley Cup. You guys know how it goes, right? But jokes aside, influence is powerful. And as believers, we are called to be influencers for Christ. Amen? So we are going to have this podcast with two beautiful women, Jada and Shiloh. So welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's so great to be on the Brave podcast.
Yeah.
We're excited to have you here.
So let's get into it. So we live in a world where we're so easily influenced by everything that we see on social media. Different types of content, videos, TikToks, you name it, we see it. But tonight we look at the flip side as God's children and how it is that we consume such content and how do we live around that content.
So I think before we even dive into it, maybe just introduce yourselves. You know, are you guys on TikTok, Instagram? Where you guys at? Tell us a fun fact, maybe that us here at church don't even know about you guys.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Don't fight now.
So my name is Shiloh, Shiloh Anders. I actually don't use social media in a way that I post a lot. I think I have like a profile picture. So doing this topic was very interesting because I was like, okay, I'm not really an influencer, but I'm still an influence in some type.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say more of who I am speaks more than what I post, which is something that made me think a lot. And a fun fact about myself, I don't have many. I'm celebrating my 21st next month, so that's exciting.
Okay. Nice.
And I want to go into med school next
Okay.
year, so I'm working
Awesome.
towards that. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jada Sanasi. I am 24 years old. I studied musical theatre in the States, and I just got back to South Africa in February. And that's my fun fact.
Okay, nice. Okay, well, let's start. I think it's so important. Like I said, we live in a world of being influenced or influencing others, right? And it's all around us, really. So we can easily try, a new hair product by one of our favorite influencers. Likewise, as Christ ambassadors, people look at our lives and they are influenced by it. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
All right, so how have you ensured that your life as influencers in this world brings Christ's message to the world?
I think living in a way that reflects Him when no one else is watching. I think it's so easy to put on something when we come to church on Sunday, when we pray, but I think it really matters when no one's watching. It's the small things rather than the bigger things. And I think it's choosing to be kind when unexpectedly, or being there for someone, when when they need someone. And I think I want my faith to be shown daily, not just on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And I want it to shape me and the way I respond to everyday situations. And if I could leave someone feeling more encouraged or loved or feel or seen or being heard or anything like that, I think that's a good reflection of Christ, and I hope I'm able to do it. So, yeah.
Nice. So let's make this practical, because I think sometimes we assume that influence is for people with big platforms. But Paul actually says something really freeing in 2 Corinthians verse 10. It speaks about boasting rightly in the area of influence that God has assigned to each of us.
Yeah.
So how do you influence in the space that you're in?
I think, like, speaking honestly, I probably don't always. There's days where I'm short with people. There's days where I make mistakes. There's days where I'm probably not the best,
You're human,
influence.
right?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
human in the end of the day. But I think it's important that we have a teachable spirit. And I think that's what people see. Like, I reacted a certain way, but how did I grow from that, and what did I do from that teachable moment? And I think that even draws people in to be like, it opens a door, to say like, oh, I saw you did this, but this is how you kind of dealt with it in that way. So even like school or work or anywhere that we are, like, we have to treat people the same, if that makes sense. Like, in that sense of, no matter if it's your boss or if it's somebody that works the same job as you, like how you are as a person and how you are towards the people around you, I think would be, if that makes
Anything
sense.
you want to add?
Yeah,
Jada?
I'll add my little two cents. I think influencing others is not just about having the loudest voice in the room. I think it's the atmosphere you create, the environment you make for people. And I think I want to be a person who brings peace and safety and security rather than criticism or judgment. And I've always tried to achieve this in high school, in uni, in work, and having worked with so many people from around the world. We don't all speak the language, the same language, but I think what is universal is kindness.
Yeah.
And that's always able to recognize from one person to the next. And I think your heart posture needs to speak louder than the words that we speak.
So I agree.
I think I'm just curious, Jada, because you went into uncharted territories, and now you had to take who you are in a very unfamiliar place in university. How did you keep grounded in who you are and not be influenced by where you are?
Sure.
I will say it was difficult. I think, especially in the cities I was in, it was very easy. I was in Los Angeles and New York. Some of the biggest like TikTok
Yes.
creators you see are from there,
Yeah.
and it's so easy to get influenced by things that my morals and values don't always align with. And I think it's just, I think because I grew up in church and I had a good support structure at home, I think that was what kept me. But I'm not gonna act like I wasn't, I wanted to try sometimes, but I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect about it.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think having a good head on my shoulders is what kept me from not being influenced.
Love that.
Nice. Okay, so let's speak to the younger women, right? You know the pressure online, guys. You know the perfect caption, the perfect live, having it all together, and it's not always the case, right? So if you guys could, really dig into it, we always know that the online world can be unreal and pretentious. So how would you encourage young sisters or young women out there to live life and be their authentic self?
I think I would be honest in saying that sometimes I feel the push and pull of social media as well. And I think if you do, you're not a bad, daughter of Christ.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can encourage authenticity from a place of like pretending you're immune to that,
Yes.
if that makes sense. So what I would want them to know is their relationship with Christ is actually the safest place to be. It's the place where you don't have to have it all together. You don't have to pretend to be this person. You don't have to, if there's a list, like
Yeah.
you wake up at this
the
time and you
boxes.
do this, and you drink your matcha. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. But like I think don't look at the truth of what being together is. Because none of us can be together, even Christians, but we know where to go to and we know where the truth in that lies. So I think you don't need the internet's approval to feel whole. You don't, Christ's relationship and the relationship with him is the one thing you don't have to perform at all. And he sees the unedited, the everything of you. So I think I would leave them with that, yeah.
I think going back to what she said of not looking for approval and other things, I saw this thing and it stuck with me. If you have like 50 followers on Instagram, it's not a lot. But if 50 people were to follow you around in real life, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So I think we need to like I know it's easier said than done, but not put our validation in likes and followers, in comments, but rather just in Christ. And I think authenticity comes from Him. And if we spend more time with Him, He's able to shape us and mold us. So I think just spend more time with Him and not look for validation in like worldly things.
Yeah.
What does spending more time with him look like practically? Because in theory, a lot of things are great, but practically, I'm listening now, I'm young, and you say, spend time with God. What does that look like?
For me, it was, I'll be honest, it was hard for me to read my Bible because I didn't always understand what I was reading. So I didn't want to read it because I felt stupid reading it. But I think I got a study Bible and I started off small. And I looked on TikTok for study guides, like study Bible guides. And that helped me get in a routine of it. I'm someone who likes routine. So if I set my alarm for 5 o'clock every day in the evening to spend time, if that was praise and worship for me, spend some time doing that and then reading my Bible and taking notes and journaling. That for me was my like little start on how I could spend more time with God. And I think just sometimes on my drives, I'll just speak to God. I don't know if that's speaking or if that's praying. I don't know if there's a difference. I'm still learning. But I think, I don't know, God, He doesn't expect us to be perfect. So I think He just wants a friend. I want a friend. And so I think that's a good way to start, maybe.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So we're going to bring it home with this last one, and I think this is where everything now connects. What does let the one who boast in Christ mean to you? And how can you translate that into your own lives?
Sure. I think, do you want to?
I can.
You guys are fighting again.
I think with how I said, like, I don't always understand what I read. So this one I had to dig a little deeper and see.
Yeah.
And the verse reminded me of our gifts, our talents, our personalities. Every good thing we have comes from Him. And I think sometimes it's so easy to celebrate these successes and our wins by ourselves. But I think this verse reminds us that every good thing that we have comes from Him. And it's not to think low of yourself, but just to give Him recognition.
And to say that, like, we live in a world, like, us ourselves, we want credit. Even if it's a little bit of credit, like when we go through a difficult season, like, yo, you were so strong through that. How did you get through that? And sometimes I'm like, I did it. Like, God carried me through that.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think Paul kind of flips the perspective of both, like, looking at ourselves for that credit, if that makes sense. I think he's saying that your worth, your ministry, your influence, it's in Him and it's rooted in Him. So, yeah, it's very similar to what Jada said. But I think being strong and knowing to redirect it to Christ, not boasting in yourself and taking your own credit. It's pointing back to God. And what did that strength look like? That it pointed towards God.
Yeah.
Did how you handle that situation or that place or that influence point to Him? I think.
Well, I'm quite eager to know now. Has there been a trend that you guys followed and now regret? Like, OMG, why did I even do that? Come on, we've all had one.
I cut my own bangs.
Okay, love that for you. She cut her own bangs.
That I regret.
I don't know if that was a trend. But anyway.
I don't know. I can't think of any that I would regret. No, some of the trends that I followed, I've liked.
Okay.
Yeah. But nothing that I've regretted, I don't think.
What are
about
some
you?
of those trends
Oh,
that you did and that you loved?
Do you know what? A matcha was a big one.
Oh.
And at first I didn't see the hype. And then I tried it and I actually really enjoyed it.
See, now I can disagree. I don't see the hype.
I also don't see that.
Really?
Like, it just never stuck with me.
Yeah.
I haven't even tried it. I'm just like, I tried there's a sachet, like a green tea matcha sachet.
yeah.
I tried that and I was just like,
Not for me.
You have to get the chilled one, though.
I'm like, did I do it wrong?
Yeah.
So that didn't stick
Yeah.
with me.
I think it's the iced one. That's better.
But we were still influenced.
Well, guys, thank you guys so much. I think it's quite evident that you don't need a platform or a following or a ring light, like you guys said. You just need to be faithful where God has placed you. So yeah, thank you guys so much, Jada and Shiloh.
Thank you so much for having
Thank you to our listeners for
Yes.
listening. You guys spoke so beautifully.
Thank you.
And yeah, this is just the beginning. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
so much.
Bye.
Bye.